This video is the only video you're going to need to learn how to send the best proposals for the highest chance of success. I've tested dozens of different ways to send proposals, including applications, different processes, and even different programs. And I've split tested these across 1,200 different real customers to see which ones performed better, and there was one that stood out big time. This one way won by a significant margin, and I'm going to show you exactly what that is. But first, I think it's important to tell you why this matters. So let's talk about a term commonly discussed in business as a conversion rate. The conversion rate is the total amount of customers who said yes versus the total amount of send-outs you sent to potential customers, basically the number of proposals you sent. So for easy math, if you sent out 100 proposals and only 5 people said yes, that's a 5% conversion rate. Or, on the other hand, if you send out 100 proposals and 10 say yes, that's a 10% conversion rate. For hypothetical easy math, let's say your average project is $10,000. A 5% conversion rate, if you sent out 100 estimates, means you get 5 projects and thus $50,000 in work. Or if you structure your proposals differently, which I'll show you how in this video, let's say you send out that same 100 leads, these new proposals, and 10 come back. You've doubled your conversions. That means you have 10 clients at $10,000 equaling $100,000. So you make twice the money just from a simple change in your estimates, and that's why we're doing all this. That means you would double your projects just from structuring your proposals correctly and not working any harder. Simply put, if you can double your conversions, you can double your profit. So enough of that, let me show you exactly how. Let's start with the big problem. There's one big problem. You see, most people don't know how to sell big jobs, and you sell big jobs the same way that you sell the small jobs. You sell any job by breaking it down into pieces. You don't sell someone the cake, you sell someone each bite of the cake to achieve the full cake. You break it up into pieces. You see, it's easier for potential clients to digest small numbers than one massive number. The biggest problem with most estimating softwares is that they structure everything to show one big total at the bottom. Basically, it's one big scary number to scare clients away. So just stop doing this. Here's a perfect example of a really bad estimate. It shows one big number at the bottom, and that's exactly what not to do. This one reason is why I dislike a lot of the softwares out there or applications out there that help you create estimates. So to answer the big question, what is the best platform? Shockingly, it's Microsoft Word. And the reason we like Microsoft Word is because it's fully customizable. You can structure it to be exactly how it should be structured. Out of everything I tested, this one performed twice as good as the next best competing estimate platform. So I'm sticking with it. It's landed me jobs, and that's exactly why you should adopt it into your business. Okay, so here's a good example. It shows each piece of the project bit by bit and explains it clearly to the customer. This way, the customer can clearly see what's going on and they see each piece of the puzzle. It's clarity right from the start. The nice thing is I created a free template that I can send to you for download so you can grab it, make it into your business needs, and send it off to clients. To get this, message me on any social platform and I'll send it over to you. What if I showed you a set of super secretive psychology tricks that will help you land more customers too on top of the one I just shared with you? Let's dive into that. Let me show you those tips now so you can get more customers. The first big one is called ramping your numbers. You see a lot of proposals just name off numbers in no particular order. That's a huge mistake. Turns out that people's brains, they remember most and they feel the most from the first few numbers and the last few numbers. Those are the ones that get remembered most. So what we do is we ease the clients into smaller numbers first and ramp it up to the biggest numbers in the middle part of the estimate, and then we taper down and end with the lower numbers too. Here's an example so I can share with you exactly what a good one looks like. If you look, you'll see that we started off with lower ones, we ramped up to some decent ones, and in the direct middle of the estimate is the highest numbers mentioned. Then, as we make our way exiting this proposal, it's ramping down to show the numbers that are less and less costly. I have done test after test after test, and if you structure your estimates this way, they will perform better. Next up, it actually helps if you mention something free in your estimate. You see, people love free things, and they always want a bargain, no matter who they are. So if at the end of the estimate you mention something minor, that is not minor to them per se, but minor to your business as far as costs go, and you mention it as free, it's going to go a little bit more above and beyond and make people a higher chance of saying yes. So in my proposals, towards the end, I put a free item in bold that's also highlighted, and then I can mention what I'm going to do for them for free. It could be something as simple as adding a plant or two, something as simple as adding free fertilizer. If you're at someone's project and you notice a little something extra that they could use on their project, that's a perfect thing to add for free. For instance, one of the best things I do on my landscape installs is I offer, if they do the entire project, that I'll give them a free landscape lighting setup. These landscape lighting packages only cost me a few $100s for some lights and wire and transformer, but to someone who's spending thousands of dollars, it's nice that they're getting lighting for free as well. The next tip I have for you is to use the exact wording that people use. If your customer comes out saying that that bush is a purple feather bush, tell them you're gonna give them 5 purple feather bushes and then mention the scientific name with it. But if you use their terminology, if they say some crazy name for something, incorporate it in your bids and it's going to resonate more in their brain. And one problem I've noticed with a lot of estimates is that people send it off and it's a bunch of numbers. It's kind of either a yes or no statement. So I come in with a third choice a little bit towards the end of my estimates too. So now that we have a proposal that lists different items in the proposal of this landscape project, what I say towards the end of my estimates is that I put cost savings in bold and I highlight it too. And underneath that, I say that if we do the entire project, everything listed above, then there's a savings that we can calculate if they do say yes to everything. So I find that this catches and hooks a few more customers overall across the board of all the estimates I send. So sometimes if an estimate is a little too much for someone, it's very easy for them to say no and move on and keep price shopping. But when I put this into my estimates, it's easy for the customers to come back to me and say, hey, what would that discount be? And that tells me as a landscaper where I'm at with them price-wise. For me, it tells me I'm very close, I'm on the same page as them, and that if I improve my pricing a little bit, I'll probably get this project. So to recuperate from this, my per item costs are usually a little bit higher each cost, so I can afford a discount down below if they say yes to everything. And for the people who would normally say yes to 2 of the 5 things, sometimes it's helped them push over the edge to where they do say yes to all 5 things. And this not only increases my conversion rate on these proposals, but also increases my profit margin too. My average total for the landscape price goes up. I'm gonna leave you with 2 other quick tips. Provide a price and mention that it's plus tax. We do this for 2 reasons, because the tax rate changes sometimes, and also so it's not one bigger number, it's showing the smaller number, the pre-tax number. So in people's head, it's a smaller number, and then we add tax when we go into contract mode when we're about to begin the project. The other thing I do is I mention the dollars involved in the cost and not the cents. You see, if I only show the dollars and I don't show the cents, it's a smaller number horizontally, and it makes more sense in people's heads as being a better deal. If I show the cents, it's a longer number, and it visually, psychologically, appears like a bigger number on paper to people's budgets. I'm sure all this advice will help you guys. This will add clarity to your customers, and it adds trust up front because it looks like you're being very transparent with your numbers. And even better, you can save these as different templates for different jobs and save time later on. Next up, there's one sentence I add to all of my proposals. If you want it, message me on any of the social platforms. I'll send it your way. This one thing people have told me is the reason they chose me when there was other bids that were right around the same numbers as me. So go out there, find leads, send these successful proposals, and get more customers. Before you go, please like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can get caught up on all these good tips for your business. And if you really want to deep dive, go to landscapersacademy.com. That's my website dedicated just to helping people in this industry. You're going to find tons of resources there. You're going to find books I've written, and you're going to find other courses that are going to help you immensely. So what are you doing? Go out there, get the free proposal template, make more money, and live your life.